Before proceeding, I would like to shortly introduce myself, since this is also my first time leading a working group, Theatralia Working Group meeting. As you all know, I couldn't, just a second, I couldn't lead the meeting the last time, and Ozana took over the role of the chair, and also Tihomir was there as a co-chair. So I would like to say a few words about me. My name is Ana Maria Žubić-Borić. I am a research assistant at the Daria Coordination Office for Croatia, which is located within the Institute of Ethnology and Folklore Research in Zagreb, Croatia. I am also a doctoral student at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Zagreb. Oh, so many people entering the waiting room now, sorry. If Tihomir, if you could admit them, please.
I can also help you.
Okay, thank you so much. My thesis is based around the music as a dramaturgical aspect of contemporary Croatian performing arts and shows. Since the beginning of this year, I also took over the role of the chair of this working group after several corrections of our proposal. Our working group was finally approved in May this year. So this meeting today is also a presentation of our planned activities for this and the next year. Before proceeding to the first topic of our meeting, I would kindly ask you to fill in the list of members table on the second page of our meeting agenda. If you don't have the link, I can share it now. Just a second. I will share it in the chat. Also, if you would like to tweet about this meeting, you can use this hashtag. Here it is in the chat now. Please fill in the table. Fill in if you are not a member of Theatralia and you would like to become one, please also fill in the table, or if you are only a listener, you can note that in the table also. We also have a new logo. I will share my screen now with you so you can see it. So here it is. Can you see it on full screen now?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So it's a kind of a stylized theatrical light falling down on the name of the working group. I hope you all like it. And of course, you can use this logo if you would like to promote or present our work yourself, or if you would like to tweet this logo, you can download it on the link also in the agenda, or you can email me after the meeting. I can send you the link myself. So we also have an opportunity to run a blog on the Hypothesis platform. So if anyone is interested in running a blog, because I cannot do it myself and Tihomir also cannot do it all by himself, I would like to invite you to maybe take over this responsibility. You don't have to apply for it now, but you can write in the chat or write me afterwards in the email, and we can set this up. So this is one opportunity. And second thing I would like to ask you is to subscribe to our mailing list. This is the first and foremost thing to do. This will also ease the communication on our side. So the link to the subscription link to the mailing list is also in the agenda. So please do this now if you can. Okay, can you all see the link? Can you all see the agenda? If someone has a problem with opening the link, please tell me.
You need to provide access for editing as our friend.
For editing the agenda, the link should be open. I opened it for everyone who has the link, so
Okay.
I can.
I also have the problem with editing. I cannot enter anything.
Yes.
Okay, I changed a minute ago the rights from
Okay.
viewing to editing, so maybe you can just refresh the document.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Korelka. Okay, we can now proceed. So if you would like to learn more about our working group, you can also read the interview with the chairs on the link in the agenda, and you can see it here. This is an excerpt from the interview we did with the Daria, and also this is our web page on the Daria platform. Here is the code. You can QR code. You can scan it to access the page, or you can just go to the Daria website and look for it under the section working groups. Can you all see it? Okay. So before proceeding, I would like to invite Tihomir to say something more about how we presented Theatralia Working Group this year and where we presented it. So Tihomir, if you can, please say a few words about that. Please unmute yourself. You are muted, Tihomir. Tihomir, can you hear us? You are muted. Oh, okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Once again, I didn't notice that I was mute all the time. Okay, where we are right now, and good morning to those who have joined us lately. Where we are right now, actually, we are heading toward a completely new orientation. To make the long story short, we actually heading toward the theater studies expert as our target group. That involves the theatrical actors, directors, stage and production expert, theatrical artist, expert in the fields of archive galleries, libraries, and museums in the GLAM sector as well. And we would like to be as concrete as possible in our future project proposals submitted jointly to provide for the concrete know-how in the digital humanities and the projects that are relevant and implementable in their future operation. So first, I would like to remind you of some of the activities that are Daria related and in which the Daria Theatralia Working Group was involved since its establishment. So first of all, that is the involvement when it comes to the Croatian chapter of the consortium, DARIAH-EU. Digital Humanities and Heritage Conference that was held in Zadar on October 13 to October 15, 2021. We've presented the poster, and this is the photograph from the Daria conference right here, and this is the poster that Anna Maria has presented, and I chaired one of the meetings within the meeting itself. Second activity was the Daria Open meeting. That is actually this one that was organized today. But prior to this, we participated and presented our presentations during the theatrical international theatrical conference or symposium called Krleža Days at the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences in Osijek. This is a unique event of the kind because it is orchestrated as the only event of the kind under the umbrella and under the auspices of the Croatian Academy of Sciences and Arts. In that perspective, and as a follow-up and an add-up to the program, we presented our newly established working group. Both Anna Maria and myself have participated in that program. When it comes to today's meeting, today's session is primarily streamlined to the prospective Daria Working Group Theatralia members. First of all, this is the follow-up to the first mutual meeting of a kind that was more of an informal in character. This is the informal acquaintance meeting that we had back in September 2021. That was something that I would actually arbitrarily call a virtual breakfast that we've held, that had the role of introduction of members' institutions and their affiliations, the presentation of the ongoing projects, and their evinced interest in digital humanities and performative art. But we also aired as early as then, and we would like to promote this idea as of now on and elevate it to a broad joint perspective. This is the idea of an aspiration to have a devised registry of theaters and theatrical collections in Croatia, and subsequently to expand that idea possibly to the other DARIAH actors, to other DARIAH countries, possibly and desirably in the European scopes and beyond. It is an interesting synergy that we would like to promote, and we have actually implemented it as of the inaugural meeting in September 2021. This is the intentional synergy of the involvement of the IT experts, the experts in information and communication technology, involving their operation with the operation of the professional theatrical actors and amateur, non-professional theatrical actors, so to provide for the technical support and to jointly select the appropriate high-tech that would be the state-of-the-art technology and state-of-the-art application in their own projects in forms of the toolset. When it comes to the further project involvement, I would like to highlight two involvements of ours as of our official establishment. First is the status of the co-applicant in the project that is entitled Digital Ecosystem for the Performing Arts, or DEPA. It's an orchestrating activity of the Swiss-based applicant, and the principal researchers is located in Switzerland. However, this is affiliated with the Cost Action. The objectives I would like to summarize are actually three. First, the information of the past and of the currently ongoing performances in the European Union theaters. Secondly, this is the promotion of the so-called consolidated ticketing system that would be EU-based. And thirdly, the steps that are anticipated to happen in 2021 have not been developed so far, but they are developed in their draft phase as of now. Our second involvement is in the DARIAH's internal initiative. This is the DARIAH's internal project application call. We applied for such a call. Financial coverage is up to 5,000 euros, but we applied with a project proposal of a small size. This is a small size project that was entitled Performing Art, transitioning to the digital age, and we have envisaged that project to have two simple parts. The first part would be a series of workshops that would also try to involve and animate both the professionals and non-professionals in the theater industry, especially the actors who are to be involved are the theater artists, the IT experts from the very onset, the actors in the theater business, such as the directors, actors, producers, set designers, stage experts, light designers, costume designers, etc. But also we would try to animate the involvement of the dramatical educators, pedagogists, and amateurs to also take part in the project. And I would like to also highlight that we envisage the participation of two important foreign actors. One is the DAC theater from Ukraine, who is pioneering the application of the digital technology and involvement of digital technology in theatrical productions. And the second one is the Gogol Fest. Also, when it comes beyond the scope of the European Union, we have anticipated the participation of CAPACOA. CAPACOA is the Performative Arts Association from Canada. And the second part of this project proposal, so the first part is a series of workshops. The second part is the follow-up and summarizing small-size international event or an international conference of a kind that would also try to promote the pioneering dominant usage of the digital technologies and communication, especially certain communication platforms that are to be selected and approved jointly in theatrical productions. That would be an international conference. This would be organized with a select number of participants. Thirdly, toward the end of this explication, what we have done so far is the information of our intentional hybrid operational modality. That means that we would try to unite and promote the on-site meetings and online meetings jointly, and that would we would like also to host such meetings on-site and online in the form of workshops, in the form of the formal and informal events. The first of a kind is the combination of the face-to-face meetings with the computerized experience in our workshop that was organized simultaneously yesterday and the day before in Zagreb, in Osijek. The adjustment to the theatrical medium to the Zoom platform. This is a simultaneous participation in a two-day event in Zagreb Youth Theater on 14 December 2021 with Iva Srnec orchestrating and anchoring that from the Treshna and Imperial Theater. With the participation of the producer Marko Milovac from Eurocause and Andriy Palatny from DAC, Ukraine, as an inaugural lecturer. And then we had the Osijek event, the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. Finally, the highlights of such hybrid events are that we would like to promote the concepts of performative acts using Zoom and similar online platforms. Also, the intermedial play of equal importance, that we would like to equalize the significance of a classical theatrical production that we are accustomed to, and the possibilities and the expansion possibilities of the new media, such as the online media and such as the communicational platforms that play the same part in the formation, in this playwriting, and in the staging of these events. And we would also try to highlight the online modalities for the theatrical media as such. These are the activities that we have done or been part of so far as of our establishment to the current day, including the today's activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Tihomir, for introducing our members to our previous and our current and future activities. You also said what I was about to say now, but I can say something more about the DARIAH funding call. As you all may have already known, the DARIAH consortium published this funding call in the late September this year. And the funding call is based around the 4 DARIAH pillars. You can see the 4 pillars here on this slide. And while applying for this application, for this funding call, I tried to base it around one of the pillars. The pillar I choose is education and training. And this is why this program is also a 2-part program, workshop series and a conference. And also, I would like to ask you to join the organization of this event. The results will be available somewhere in between January, I think. So it would be great if you could join the organization, and if you could also give your presentations on our conference. Also, I would like to say something about the DARIAH annual event. that will take place in Athens, Greece in May and June next year. This is also an opportunity for us to maybe set up a face-to-face meeting or to prepare some kind of a presentation of our activities. So please have this in mind. We will not plan anything yet. This is just a presentation and an invitation. We can talk about that more in our next meetings. There is also a possibility to apply for Dariah's travel envelope. This is a way for Daria to pay all the travel costs for some of the working group members. So please follow the Dariah webpage and you will see more information about the envelope. Also, I would like to ask Eva Srnec, the leader of our first Theatralia workshop on adapting the performing arts medium for the Zoom platform, as Tihomir has already introduced us to it. I would like to ask Eva to say a few words about how this workshop was planned, what was the concept, and what were the results of the workshop. Eva, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to meet you all, and it's a great pleasure to be a part of such a project. We had a workshop yesterday, and it was based around using the Zoom platform. I had a lot of experience with the Zoom platform because of the pandemics. All my drama workshops in City Theatre Trešnja were sort of redirected to Zoom, and I had to incorporate my entire program and the exercise for the kids and for the Zoom platform, and we were very successful. This 2 years, I have to really be proud. And I also did some professional theater plays that were using Zoom platform as a way to enhance our performance or the message for the audience. And this was the basis of my workshop yesterday. It started with me sharing my experiences with both the project, the technology, what problems we had, what went extremely well with the audience. And later I shared the participants into breakout rooms, and we were building around their problems and their concepts. And some of them were working as leaders of the amateur theater. Some of them were contemporary dancers or musicians. Some of them were teachers and drama pedagogy. And we were working around their project. I am extremely satisfied with the results of the workshop. We were searching for some of the ways to include Zoom to help enhance theater performance, and some of the properties that Zoom has, for example, rename. You can send a powerful message through rename as the words appear on the screen, as well as the hitting off and on screen buttons, some emojis, of course, the messages, how to blur your background or how to make your background work for you in the theater. And we had 2 or 3 really interesting concepts, and it's very useful for them also for the pandemic situation, because they have the opportunity to work with a few actors on stage, 1 or 2, and the other actors could actually be on Zoom. And this is very helpful for the amateur theater groups, because amateur theater groups sometimes consist of 20 to 30 members, and they all want to participate, of course. So this is very helpful for them to be involved into the process. We shared our experiences and difficulties. There were some worries about Zoom taking over the theater, because nobody wants the technology to take over, of course, but they were worried about it. But in the end, it really is about making technology and theater work together and improve each other. Participants were very pleased with the workshop, with the results. I got some really positive feedback, and I can't wait for the other workshop. They expressed the desire to work on a certain material that's, for example, a part of a play. So I said that I will work with them on particular part of the play to adjust that to Zoom platform. So thank you.
Thank you, Eva. But we also had an invited lecture from a Ukrainian producer, actor, and festival curator, Andrew Palatny. This is a slide. On this slide, you can see a part of his presentation. He talked about his theater, his DAC Theaters project, which used Zoom platform and all the other technological aspects of such communication platforms. We also hope to expand this project to you, all of the members of Theatralia. So if you're interested in taking part in organization or maybe to attend our next workshop, please feel free to write down your expression of interest in the chat or to write me also in the email. We can then see how you can help us with the organization. Also, if you want to have a presentation during the workshop, you can also write that down. Or if you have someone in mind who would be good for this kind of workshop, please let us know. So this is one of our projects. You can see the participants here on the slide. We really had a good time. And the next project is the DEPA project. And I see here with us today is Beat Esterman, the leader of this project. So if Beat, you could say something more about the concept of your project and how the Theatralia members could join maybe your working groups, please let us know, please say more about that.
Yes, welcome everybody. Thank you for giving me the word, Anna Maria. Yeah, so the DEPA project was kind of came into being after I'd been working with various institutions, both from the side from heritage and from the side of arts organization, the actual arts sector. And we kind of noticed that there's some kind of overlap in terms of data, what kind of data they're producing, they're interested in, they're using. And from that, we had the idea to kind of create an international network to actually promote the harmonization of data models and also the harmonization of the way we publish data in the sector, so we could actually connect all our databases. I mean, between the different fields, but also internationally, because that was the other observation we made, is that if you look at these databases, the existing databases at the international level, there's also, we have another one. Then we have a second one that is working on data modeling, on information representation. It's functioning in the context of a W3C community group at the moment, where the idea is to kind of get agreement on how we represent the information in the area of performing arts. Then I would say we're trying now to kind of kickstart again the working group related to research and education. So that would be, it's heritage and research. So that would be the one kind of represented by Theatralia. So we kind of have a lot of overlaps there, what the Theatralia Working Group is planning to do and what we're planning to do within the working group, research and heritage. And then there are some other working groups that haven't been really started off yet. One of them is focusing on arts organizations. One of them is dealing with the authority files that we're using in common. We're kind of discussing these issues, but they're not really being approached yet. Then one of them is focusing on the field of technological implementation. There we have one project that is currently running that could be used as a focus, or as a focal point for discussions there. And there have been a few activities also related to Working Group 7, which is the one that is going to focus on governance aspects. So that's to give you an idea of what we are working on. We're now kind of moving forward as a loosely connected network without a concrete institutionalized form. So what I really welcome is if individual working groups start moving forward and also maybe give themselves an institutional setting that will go forward even if this cost action doesn't get funded, and if it gets funded will maybe also provide an institutional setting that will take these activities further after the 4-year funding period. So that's the input from my side. Thank you very much, Anna-Maria. So if there are any questions, I'm ready to answer them now.
Thank you, Beth, for introducing us to your project. And I hope you will really get the funding for the second time now that you applied for the cost action. And we can definitely dedicate one of the Theatralia's meetings to the DEPA project and see if our participants, if our members are interested in taking part in your working groups. Of course, members can ask you questions, but maybe we can save this for later, for the end of the meeting, because we still have 2 topics to talk about. And one of them is the Performing Arts Registry. It's, I think, the biggest and the most important Theatralia project that was also the base of our working group proposal. And we still haven't done much on this plan, but in the Daria, Croatia, we have already a register of archives, libraries and museums. And this is the Indigo infrastructure. You can see it on the slide we are using. And also we would like to propose using the same infrastructure for the registry of theaters. This would be a registry of theaters with all of the important information about theater houses or theater troupes, whatever kinds of theater there are in the DARIAH member countries, and maybe even wider. And it would also be a register of theatrical collections. So we have to agree on our next meetings on how we will gather information that we can put on this platform in this register. But for now, this is only a presentation of what we now have. What you see here is a list of concepts. You can see it's in Croatian. Of course, this is a temporary version. We will adapt it for all of our members. It will be probably in English. And you can see here archives and museums and libraries, also geosemantic classification and some of the other concepts that are needed, that are also needed. And if you open one of the concepts, for example, the libraries, you can see a list of all of the libraries that are already in the register. And when you are entering the metadata about the library, you have this list of identifiers. For example, the name of the library, the type of the library, where it is located, its address, email, personal identification number, and also you can see the fields up here. These can be classified in whichever fashion you like. For example, here we have some basic data, data about the founding of the library, its personnel and web sources, e-sources for this library. And this is a system we would propose to use for a theater registry. So we would have to agree on the identifiers for this kind of database. But this is only one concept, something we have already. We have this infrastructure and we can use it. We can also update it much easier. Someone is always working on it. But as Beth said, there are other options. There is option to use Wikidata. I believe you also have some other options, and I would like to ask you to share with us what you have done in the field of theatrical registries. And I planned a few presentations with Helen. Is Helen here? And Donatella and maybe Anna Lovitz, but she isn't here as I can see. Helen, do you have your today's presentation about your work on the theater registry? Or Donatella, are you here?
Give me a sec so I can
Okay.
share my screen.
Okay, I will stop sharing now.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet, sorry.
Sorry, it's very shiny here in Athens.
It's okay.
Is somebody gets some sun?
Sorry about that.
Oh, we can see the screen now, but only if you can start the
Yes,
slideshow.
yes.
Great.
Okay. So, paradoxically, I will not speak on modeling of, but till the very end, modeling of and the representation of theater and performing arts data. I will, as asked by Anna Maria, refer to our work on the registries and the theater collections within the resource registry for the registries for the humanities that we have been compiling over the last 5 to 6 years in the Academy of Athens and the Greek Research Infrastructure for the Arts and Humanities, the DARIAH-EU. We all know that data, theater data and humanities data vary significantly to the degrees of formalization. This continued effort to digitize collections of cultural heritage and humanities data has increased the availability of the access to diverse, multidisciplinary and rare materials. However, I would like to point from the very beginning, this overproduction of digital and digitized data can be easily lost when misidentified, as Anna Maria pointed out, or when non-meta identified at all. Before entering in more specific examples, I would like to point out that unfortunately 70 to 80% of the data are accompanied by zero or false metadata. As digital collections grow, it is imperative that every digitized object is tagged with accurate metadata information. More specifically, all digital humanities data should be described by a dominant and widely accepted metadata schema to be easily searched, categorized, and processed. At the end of the day, the metadata are simply the vehicle to help researchers find, access, and reuse data, namely to implement the famous FAIR principles to our work. The team of the Greek National Infrastructure for the Arts and Humanities, the ARS, has compiled a registry of all, not only theatre, Greek collections, whether physical or digital. This is a difficult task, and we will point out some challenges from this aspect later on, that are of interest for humanities and social sciences. The registry includes collections of interest to more than 17 disciplines, such as anthropology and ethnology, archaeology, classics, numismatics, epigraphy, history, philosophy of science, literature, linguistics, theater and theater studies, musicology, and so on and so forth. And of course, arts and arts history, all arts disciplines are included. Most of the information of the collections is recorded in cooperation with the curating institutions, and this huge task has been developed during two phases, 2013 to 2015, the first phase, and 2017 till now, in the framework of the Apollonies, the Greek research infrastructure for the humanities, arts and language research, is a combination of Daria and Clarin, as in most European countries, we have merged the two infrastructures. So the web application, we will see some examples right now, provides access to information on Greek institutions or the individuals and collections they own or curate. This tool takes advantage of the available expertise and digital resources to improve the quality of users' research and to serve educational purposes. Cultural institution managers, archivists, librarians, museum curators, theater managers and directors leverage the collective expertise to maximize the social use of the digital resources in the humanities and the cultural heritage. The content of the digital tool is being continuously enriched, which is another major challenge, how to keep up with and update, the constant update needed once you build a database, with the aim to enhance the visibility of the analog and digital collections and provide increased access to scholarly content. Therefore, the contribution of the users is essential. Let's start seeing some examples from the application you can find online. The registry, the registry enables researchers to detect information about their research in numerous types of collections, varying from collections of objects, regarding different branches of the arts and humanities, museum collections, costume collections, carte postales, maps, to collections of digitized text, manuscripts, textbooks, correspondence, written and spoken data. The registries comprise institutions that maintain collections, identities of persons with contact details that have a specific role, responsibility over the collection, descriptions of the collections, the related metadata and ontologies that are being used. These metadata schemas and ontologies of the collections are certainly centrally maintained in order to support interoperability and queries, and access to the interface and some of the fields are already available in English, and we estimate that we will forward in more translating more fields of the work. Here you can see the one example. Let's start collections on theater. And you have a theater collection You have the title in English, Theatrical Reviews Collection, and the description. This collection contains theatrical performance reviews presented in the public of Thessaloniki, the capital of the northern Greece, in Macedonia, the Greek one, during the years of 1995-2006. This is a small example of one, the general information. Here is the general information for the collection. Let's move on to a file that comprises an organization. The registries include organizations where all the collections are interlinked, there are connections. For example, the National Theatre of Greece has 15 collections, and they are all listed under the organization file. Here we have an archival institution. We have the Hellenic Literary and Historical Archive, which is an organization that, although it seems to be focused on literature and history, has important theater archives. One of these are the Shadow Theatre Collection, as you can see here in the title. It's one collection of the previous organization, where we can all as well see the description of the material of the collection. Here we come to a pure theater organization, the National Theatre of Northern Greece, which is a file concerning the theater institutions and organizations. So you saw two of the most important files from our resources, the collections browse and the organizations browse. We have, of course, a third browse possibility, the persons, which are either collection holders. You can have private holders in art and visual arts, and also performing arts. You can have collectors that are artists, creators, or curators, or people that collect art. So you can have individuals as being the holders of collections, or that have a significant role in the curation and the management of the collections listed in the registry. Now you can see the fields of our registry. Very short. We document the nature and the URI of the resource, the abstract about the title of the collection and its possible alternative. This is where the alternative is another Greek name given, or an acronym, or the English translation, the English title of the organization or the collection, the extent of the collection, the languages or the items, especially for the texts, and the format of the items. The DC rights are the rights about over the collections, and the options of accessibility by the public, and their methods of obtaining and expanding the collections, the necessary spatiotemporal information and the collections of its items, its collector and owner. The spatiotemporal also located at is about the location when it is an analogical collection, and the access via web when it is a digital collection, its sub-collections, as we mentioned, and the over collection and the possible connection with other similar collections. Here you can see the connections between persons, organizations, and sorry about that, going back to my scheme, and persons' organization and its collections. The architecture of the system balances between needs of implementation, maintenance cost, and interoperability. We've used the for persons and organizations model and the Dublin Core protocol for collections, but slightly, or in some cases altered, because the needs of the registry could not be covered by, in some cases. Therefore, some extra metadata fields have been introduced, such as Creative Commons, metadata schemata, contact person identifier, full address, coordinates, scanner characteristics, and so on and so forth. It is encoded in XML, and it can be provided and harvested via ORIP HM 2.0, and the access policy is open with a required free registration. Now coming to close, because I can see that the time is running fast. The growth of digital collections has been accompanied by a plethora of metadata schemas, each of which has been designed based on the requirements and types of materials, subject domains, project needs, etc. The registries had to include the resource registries for the arts and humanities, the AS, had to include metadata, and that's a challenge that you will, I'm sure that you will face, to include metadata records that were prepared according to diverse schemas, and to subsume them under a common metadata schema in order to enable cross-domain metadata harvesting and relate searches. The vast amount of data and the variety of disciplines required a highly elaborated schema, metadata, accommodating the description of both physical and digital collections. Humanities, arts and humanities data, handling the arts and humanities data, we all know it's not a simple task, even within the same domain and the same discipline. Important issues arise concerning the diversity of the relevant sources and the institutions that create and preserve them, and the user's requirements. Last but not least, being head of another working group, perhaps you've heard it, the Thesaurus Maintenance Working Group. I wouldn't help myself talking about the relation of the terms and the connection of the terms used in the collections registry and our work in the Humanities Thesaurus. Another major endeavor concerning terminology and modeling arts and humanities knowledge, and of course theater and performing arts. That's the field where I'm focusing, where I'm working within my group and my fellow research colleagues. The terms used in the collections registry that we've been talking about are being modeled in a structured way under the top level concepts of the backbone thesaurus. I won't speak about that right now. We don't have time. You can search it on the Thesaurus Maintenance Working Group, when you can find all the details. So the related terms between different disciplines we had faced the challenge to connect and retrieve. That's the important parts. The terms used in thematic description of collections, in other words, a flat vocabulary, and to model them in order to build the thesaurus across disciplines. And so this is an example this is an example for terminology from theater, sorry, and drama. You have, if you're interested in browsing our thesaurus, It's an arts and humanities thesaurus. It's not only on theater, but there's theater terminology in there, from highly theoretical notions till theater props and theater genres, as you're saying here. You can find the address here, Humanities Thesaurus Academy of Athens GR. So that's all for now. The challenges are huge, but it's a nice journey, and I hope that we can share experiences with our HR colleagues. Thank you all.
Helen, thank you. Thank you for such an elaborated and detailed presentation on the registry collection that you are working on. We will definitely use this knowledge in our upcoming meetings. That will be, some of them will be dedicated entirely to building such a registry. Is Donatella here for the next presentation?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, but I prepare in PowerPoint on my work, but the theater registry is only a project, because as for Italy, not only is there no such registry of the archives, but not even a national theater or performing arts museum. And so if you want, I can show you this PowerPoint, but I don't, because I don't understand that it is focused only on the theatrical register.
Okay, you can show us what you prepared.
Yeah. Oh. You can see.
We could see it a second ago, but it's disappeared now.
Oh dear.
Can you start sharing again?
Yes. I cannot.
Also, I see we have an interesting discussion in the chat about theater registries and the registry we are working on, which we proposed, but you can, of course, you can discuss it now in the chat, but the real discussion will be reserved for our next meeting.
Oh, yes. What do you want? Now?
Okay, we see now.
See?
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Okay. Okay. This is my experience. The first in 2016, Virtual Museum Vera Komisarjevska published online. I realized this virtual museum in collaboration with Artyom Itmo University of St. Petersburg. I would like to show you in nutshell the slides in this the first way to organize the content, a lot of content regarding these important Greek theatres in Russian. And so we realize a map of tours, social circle, and collected all materials produced in memory of theatrics in another sector of this virtual museum. I presented my proposal of the documentation ecosystem model. In 2015, I designed an innovative documentation, documentation ecosystem model to catalog theatrical cultural heritage. I titled it Performance Knowledge Base PKB, structured as a set of levels for research, cataloging, and user interface according to a new methodology criterion. The aim is to reconstruct a theatrical performance using the data and documentation collected on the same platform or available through open access connection to other digital archives of the performing arts. The problem was how to aggregate the huge amount of heterogeneous data. A solution was according to 3 phases of event: conception, staging, and documentation. So all the metadata related to the theatrical performance elements, e.g. stage custom, text, deliberate, and so on, and to its contributor must be subordinate to the whole. Because in my opinion, the theatrical production is as a whole artwork. In this slide, I try to show my way to collect the data. Each theatrical production, each theatrical production is a complex, in my opinion, and autonomous world that pick up performance knowledge base can analyze and structure it according to intercommunicating cognitive levels. Below is the PP presentation of the PKB prototype focused on the cataloging of the first theatrical production, The Seagull Bites Chekhov. I realized a new type of metadation, and I propose my way to catalog the theatrical production. The PKB is structured as a set of levels for research, cataloging, and user interface. These levels dialogue with each other according to interlaced research logics. The first level is the user interface. You can search for the title of the theatrical performance, for the stage director, choreograph's name, for the name of a theater or a town, or a free search. The second level is the scheda madre. Each scheda madre of a theatrical performance XY is like a route for secondary fact sheets, which are its branches. Scheda madre should be like the main fact sheet. It presents the essential data of the required theatrical production and 4 binders or folders which the user can choose to the access. This is the slides shows the works, the little part of the work to collect and organize the information in attachments, pictures, and characters. And this is an example. The third level is the data organization. in these folders, there are 4 folders: image, writings, attachment, characters, and bibliography. And the 4th level is the scheda figlia. It is like a branch of the main fact sheet. It contains specific information or documents for each item searched. Each scheda figlia is a markup. And the 5th level provides international and international links to further information. That's all in nutshell. And this is my proposal, an Italian theatrical archive map registry project. Last year, in collaboration with the INDE Foundation of Syracuse in Sicily, I submit an Italian theatrical archives map register project to the Italian Ministry of Cultural Heritage of Thames funding. But even here, I don't know. Unfortunately, I no answer. As for Italy, not only there is no such registry of the archive, but not even a national theater of performing art museum. Now our Ministry of Culture has not only recognized, but only created a national national archive network, but this regarding only the most important historical collection and archives like Teatro della Scala, Teatro Stabile, Teatro Memo di San Carlo. But there are a lot of collections which are privately owned, is not known to me that. For this reason, I think that it's important to create a theatrical national registry. This is important because is to highlight and enhance the quality and quantity of the cultural heritage of the performing arts in Italy, both in terms of cultural assets and in terms of available, usable, and linked open data. In my opinion, it was also been necessary to divide these archives into 2 broad categories, because in Italy there are so much archives and theater and library, and so it's important to divide 2 broad categories: historical archives of the ancient and modern era, and archives of contemporary era. Due to the diversity of the material, the content collect. The content of each of them can be arranged and ordered, this is my proposal, according to subgroups and or subcategories, and served on a web page where also the user would easily find it. For example, a list of set design, custom, playwright, video, and so on, due to the in this way the user can find all the request results, and in my opinion, this kind of link open data organization by subcategory would allow to facilitate the ingestion into a national common platform. That's all. Thank you.
Donatella, thank you. It was a really relevant presentation. We don't have much time for discussion today, but the object of this meeting was to present some of the idea and the work of our members, especially considering the theater registries, theatrical registries and similar work. But for now, I will stop the discussion around this topic. We can talk about registries again, maybe during our next meeting. And this is also the last point of this meeting today, to make some sort of a schedule and for our next meetings, and to divide you into subgroups, because I see you all have very different and very wide interests. And I'm curious now to see what you would like to work on, because Tihomir and I are above all coordinators of your meetings and your projects. Theatralia's first and biggest and the main project would be this theatrical registry. I saw the discussion. Yes, I know we have much to talk about, and this is why I would propose our next meeting to be entirely focused on creating such a registry, whether it would be a registry of theatrical collections or theater companies. We'll see about that. I will contact you all via email after this meeting, so we can discuss who will present what topic on the next meeting. But before that, I would like to hear from you. What projects would you like to work on? I was thinking many of you are interested in theatrical registries. Some of you are interested in digitization projects of archival theatrical materials. So this could also be one of the subgroups. And maybe a third option could be workshops and this kind of events that are oriented towards theater workers and public, maybe wider set of participants, interessants from the public, and this category would also comprise some of our workshops, like this one, which is dedicated to adapting theater for the Zoom platform. So maybe you could write down after the meeting in the email what you would like to work on and how you would like to be, how you would like our working group to be divided. So afterwards, we can also set up meetings considering your interests. We don't have to always hold a meeting with every member, every participant. We can have theme meetings. For example, one of the meetings could be dedicated to registry, the other meeting could be dedicated only to workshops, and only those who are interested in workshops would then apply for this meeting. So we don't have much time. We have few more minutes, and I would like to close this meeting now. Also invite you once again to join our mailing list and to write me. You can see my email address in the chat. I will write it down again. And also you can write an email to the Theatralia, Theatralia-EU. These are two email addresses you can use to ask any question, to tell me what would be the subgroup you would like to work in and the project you would like to work on. And I will write an email shortly afterwards on the next topic, the topic of our next meeting. So thank you once again. Thank you for wonderful presentations. Thank you for the discussion in the chat. I have it in mind and we will discuss it further on the next meeting. And I leave the word now to Francesca.
Yeah, well, just a couple of words to say. Thanks a lot, Anna Maria and Tihomir, for organizing this meeting. Thanks a lot to the participants of the working group, but also like to the new faces. that attended today. Hope you had a wonderful discussion. And other than that, I wish you all a good Christmas and good holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to all.
Bye. Oh, and
Bye.
the recording, sorry, just a few on a last word. Recording will be available in a couple, probably end of December on the Daria YouTube channel.
I would like to wish a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. And I just hope three things that have been obtained through this short inaugural online meeting of ours. The first on the Zoom platform as of such. First, that this was a great networking opportunity to all of us. Secondly, that we even proposed during the chat when we chatted and we watched and tentatively listened to the presentation. That was also initial platform for presenting the possible networking opportunities worldwide, not only in a European perspective. And thirdly, that was a suggestion forum. I would like to thank all the participants, all the best. Stay safe and sound until the next meeting. Send us an email and be sound and be the part of the Theatralia Working Group. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I think, Theomir, you need to stop the recording.
Bye.